Welcome back for part 2 of what if Anakin was framed for the bombing of the Jedi Temple. If you haven't seen part 1, I highly recommend you watch that first before watching this video. The link will be in the description below. Striding through the already open doorway, the two Jedi prepare themselves for the inevitable resistance. Using their stealth to dispel any stationed clone troopers, they make their way to the core of the cloning facility. They are greeted by the sound of clattering of mechanical limbs. Unsurprisingly, it is Obi-Wan's old foe General Grievous, guarding what they were looking for. Obi-Wan sensibly backed off, allowing Shaak Ti to skirt around the sides. Unlike the surroundings in their previous duels, the high ceiling and wide area allowed for Obi-Wan's array of force powers to be utilised. Also, without any distractions of droids or battle strategy to account for, Obi-Wan's true dueling ability shone through. Perfectly deflecting the cyborg's patterned attacks, he force-pushed Grievous into a nearby chip examination contraption, forcing the Jedi killer to assume his four-legged form. Behind them, Shaak Ti was doing a thorough examination of the cloning process, from its embryonic stage to its final stage. Darting to a secondary room, Master T sees a holotable with the Kamino and Prime Minister Lama Su slumped over the top. Shifting the body to the side of the room, the Jedi Master begins to look through some of the recordings. She is shocked to see the continual transmissions between Sidious and Lama Su discussing the process, and the oblivious Jedi. Scrolling through to the latest transmission, she found Lama Su being force-choked to her demise, but not before Sidious announced the execution of Contingency Order 66. As Obi-Wan had said, this had to have activated something inside the mind of the clones. Heading back to the main facility, Obi-Wan is making good headway against Grievous, having disarmed two of his blades, allowing for Master T to focus on reversing Order 66. With the help of a nearby astromech droid, she decrypts the database and sees the list of orders. Her worst fears are realised when Chancellor Palpatine's name is attached to Order 66. Hearing the sound of footsteps of dozens of clones heading their way, Shaak Ti quickly deactivates the inhibitor chip, stopping the footsteps immediately, and to her relief, she turns around to see Obi-Wan standing next to the remains of General Grievous. Casually dusting himself off, he gathers the General's impressive collection of lightsabers, before attempting to relay a message to Coruscant. The weathered face of Grandmaster Yoda appeared, looking happy to see the Jedi. He had watched so many fall at the Jedi Temple. With the chips now deactivated, the temple was quiet, with many of the clones returning back to their usual positions. But there was still the matter of the Sith. The tireless and dedicated Jedi that Obi-Wan was, he does not stay in Kamino for long, heading back to Coruscant and leaving Shaak Ti to protect the Kamino facility. However, midway through his flight, Obi-Wan sees another ship on his navigation computer. Suspicious, Obi-Wan went into an asteroid field, ducking and weaving his way through before resting on a rock. Behind him, the bright lights revealed the solar sailor Dooku. Obi-Wan zooms back off into space, attempting to shake off the Sith Lord, but Dooku sticks to his tail. Calling some nearby clones to distract the Sith Lord, they obey Obi-Wan's command, allowing for his passage to Coruscant. But he needed to be quick. Dooku would have surely been notified of Grievous's fall by now, and Shaak Ti would be vulnerable. Shifting several groups of clones to reinforce Kamino, Obi-Wan made it to Coruscant in time to see the Jedi Temple smouldering. Sliding into the Jedi Temple hangar, the canopy to his starfighter flew open, and Obi-Wan leapt out, lightsaber in hand. Scaling down to the bottom, he is distressed to find several Jedi Masters on the floor. Darth Sidious was making his mark. Running through the screams of pain, he could see lightsabers clashing furiously, and rushed to join in spite of his exhaustion from fighting Grievous. Combining with Windu and Yoda to take down Sidious, Obi-Wan sent Anakin and Ahsoka, with defending from some of Sidious's personal forces, to Kamino to protect Shaak Ti, in case the clones were not sufficient. Anakin and Ahsoka made a dash through the ruins, and scrambled their way to the first ship they could find, hoping that Obi-Wan and the Jedi could succeed. On their way, they attempt to communicate with the clones on Kamino through R2-D2, but even by boosting their signal range, no transmission was returned. This did nothing to boost their mood as they reached the ever-gloomy Kamino. Flying close to the waves and beneath the stilts of the raised areas, the scene could only be described as chaos. Dooku had brought his own reinforcements in to counter the clones, from aquadroids to battle droids to droidicas. They outnumbered the defences of Kamino. Stopping by one of the stilts, they each jump on an aquadroid, piercing their blades through their cores, before leaping to the surface. Blindsiding what remained of the CIS, Anakin and Ahsoka helped to take down the droids with the clones, with Anakin heading to the facility's centre in pursuit of Dooku. Blasting his way through the droids and clones, he sees Dooku dueling with Shaak Ti. Shaak Ti is valiant in her attacks, using a combination of Form 2 and some Form 4 to counter the legendary duelist. Anakin jumps in to block a force-lightning attack from Dooku, repelling it onto a nearby machine, sending sparks in all directions. Having learned from their previous duels, Anakin had practiced intensely with Obi-Wan to make sure he didn't repeat the same mistakes. Closing all of the doors with the Force, Anakin began to play to his strengths, using his power to try and overwhelm Dooku's efficient strikes. Anakin saw Dooku's face begin to turn from one of glee to concern. Rolling to one side, Dooku summons several battle droids from above, but Master T deals with these in a matter of moments. Anakin uses their severed parts and launches them back to Dooku, but the Sith elegantly sidestep the attacks. Engaged in another blade lock, Anakin finally found a small weakness in the tiring Sith Lord's defences and disarmed him, slicing both of his wrists. Anakin reopened the doors and the clones rush in, sensing the situation and cuff the Sith Lord. Heading back outside, Ahsoka and the clones are cleaning up the last of the droids, who look lost without their leader. Trying to relay news of their success to Coruscant, Anakin sees the blurred figure of an exhausted Obi-Wan, who had poured all of his energy with the Jedi to take down the Chancellor. Giving his master some much needed rest, Anakin slid down to his ship with Ahsoka and took off through the storm clouds. Perhaps being framed by Barriss Offee had been a blessing after all. That is it for What If Anakin Was Framed for the bombing of the Jedi Temple. If you enjoyed this, please like this video, and if you're new to this channel and my other channel, subscribe for more tips. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd like to see next and how I can improve my videos. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.